Testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning and welcome, everyone. First of all, we would like to apologize for the delay in starting this morning. We were experiencing some technical difficulties at the Civic Center, and we are live now on YouTube as well. So today is February 17th. Some housekeeping matters before we begin our hearing today. During the declared emergency in the City of Toronto, Committee of Adjustment virtual public hearings are being conducted by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform, and streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel. These measures are necessary to comply with physical distancing requirements and a provincial order that limits attendance at public gatherings. This will be a virtual public hearing, and participants who have registered in advance will be able to make their presentations at the committee using WebEx, an online event that is being moderated by city staff. Anyone wishing to view the hearing may do so by watching on YouTube. Participants who have registered in advance will be connecting either by their computer, phone, or tablet app. All participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, each participant will be unmuted by the operator, one person at a time. Only the committee members will be participating by video. All registered participants will be participating by audio only. We ask that you mute all of your personal devices, including the YouTube stream, when you are not speaking, to prevent transmission of background noise and minimize disruption to the meeting. Please unmute your computer microphones before speaking. Please ensure to mute your YouTube streaming while you are speaking. The hearing will take place at a slower pace. Each meeting will be stated, and then a moment will be given to allow everyone time to find their place. Please write down the WebEx meeting access code and attendee ID from your WebEx meeting invitation, and keep it nearby for quick reference. If you are experiencing lag or audio issues, please disconnect and call into the hearing and enter the information. Please call into the hearing with the phone number that you have registered with so that staff can recognize and unmute you when your item comes up. Before we begin our hearing today, we acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit and the Williams Treaty signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. In accordance with Section 45 and 53, the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment for the City of Toronto is now called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for minor variances from the provisions of the zoning bylaw, permissions to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consents to create new lots. To ensure a fair and a timely hearing, I will vet the agenda to determine which applications can be dealt with immediately and which applications require a more in-depth review. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or the applicant may proceed with the presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions or take the matter into committee for decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or the agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or the agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the Committee of Adjustment. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to the proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if an application is substantially revised on the floor to ensure that the revised application is accurate and that all those who are entitled to receive the notice of the application are informed of the changes. Then individuals, either in support or in opposition to the application, will be invited to speak. Please ensure to include all your remarks or concerns that you may have. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. If there are several speakers sharing the same view, please select a spokesperson to present the group's opinion. We'd certainly want to hear your views. However, covering the same points, again, will not advance your cause. Please be advised that all deputants at the hearing today will be given a chance to speak before the committee moves on to the applicant for a rebuttal or a response to the deputant's concerns. The chair will advise if there are any questions for the deputants or the participants. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or the agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. Please note that unless committee members have any questions, the participants will not get a chance to rebut the applicant's response. That will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. The committee has received the minutes of the last meeting. I would like to have a motion to confirm and adopt the meeting minutes from the hearing in January. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Member Said?
Madam Chair, I move the motion for approval of the minutes of meeting dated January 27.
May I have a seconder, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll second that motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. I reviewed them. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? Motion's carried. The minutes of the last meeting have been approved or adopted. Are there any declarations of interest of panel or staff members at the hearing today? Member Said?
Madam Chair, it appears that item number 7, the parties of the applications may be known to me. Therefore, I declare my conflict of interest and I will be stepping aside during the hearing of this item.
All right, thank you. Member Said has declared a conflict on item number 7. Thank you for advising us, Member Said. All right. I will now ask Mr. Ramdale, Deputy Secretary Treasurer, for any deferral requests. Colin, any requests for deferral of any items on the agenda today?
Through the chair, there is one deferral request on item number 4, which is 6 TREDVALLEY Grove. It's a deferral request by the applicant. The reason for the deferral from the applicant is to allow time to address concerns raised by the neighbors as well as the Toronto Region and Conservation Authority.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to check in with the agent who has registered to speak. This is item 4, Ali, and Mr. Mike D. Oliveira.
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Good morning, Mike. Thank you for your patience with us today. So we have a request for deferral on your item today. Would you like to say anything?
No, I think they covered it quite well. We received the comments from planning after the deadline as well, so we're just trying to deal with the concerns from the neighbor as well as the planning and TRCA comments. So we're hopeful to get that sorted out over the next couple of weeks to come back to committee. Okay, thank you, Mike. Members of the committee, you heard we have a request for deferral on item number 4 for 6 TREDVALLEY Grove, I believe it is. Is there a mover? Member McKay.
Madam Chair, I would move to defer this TREDVALLEY matter to, I would just defer the sine die to allow follow-up and discussion to take place.
Okay, thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Said? All in favor? Sorry about that. All in favor, the motion's carried. The application for 6 TREDVALLEY Grove, this is item 4, has been deferred sine die. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you. Are there any further requests for deferral, Colin?
Through the chair, there are no others.
Thank you. I will now read the agenda. I will call each item in the order that is listed on the agenda and ask if anyone other than the agent or the applicant is present in interest and wishes to address the committee. If there are people in interest, the matter will be held until all non-contested applications have been cleared from the agenda. If there is no person present who has interest in the application, the agent or the application will proceed with their presentation if required. The committee may ask questions or take the matter into committee for a decision. Thank you. That brings me to the end of my opening remarks. I will now move on to the first item on the agenda. First item on the agenda for vetting is 633 Silver Star Boulevard for units 109 and 122. Do we have the applicant with us, Henry Chu? Thank you.
Yes, Madam Chair. Yeah,
Good morning, sir.
good
Members,
morning.
members of the committee, any questions for Henry Chu? This is an application to seeking relief from the provisions of the bylaw to convert units 109 and 122 from commercial use to a restaurant, and there are two variances that are before us. If there are no questions for the applicant at this time, and for record, I will state that we do not have any speakers listed to speak at the hearing today. But for record, we did receive letters of opposition that Committee of Adjustment members received and have reviewed. Committee members, no questions, no concerns. May I have a motion, please? Member Said.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe the variants before the committee are minor. Therefore, I would move the motion for approval of item number 1 without any conditions.
Thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Taylor? Okay, go ahead.
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried. The application for 633 Silver Star Boulevard, which is item 1 on the agenda, has been approved, and there are no conditions. May I request the panel members to please mute your microphones when not speaking. I'm receiving some feedback.
Through the chair, also, if the members can please mute any other devices that they're not using. So if you have 2 devices going on, being run right now, mute the other device. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. We now move to vetting the agenda for item number 2. Item number 2 is for 21 MELVA CRESCENT. This is an application for a minor variance to permit the construction of a 2-story rear addition, and we have before us 2 variances. The applicant who has registered is Tony Henriquez. And there is a speaker listed, Rini Susanti. Rini or Rini? Are you with us, Rini?
Hello?
Hi there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I just want to confirm you have registered to speak with us. Do you have, would you like to speak in opposition to this application, or do you have concerns with this application?
I need to know what's the reason of the extension first.
Okay, all right. So you know what, Rini, we are going to hold down this item and come back for to discuss it in further detail. So please stay with us. And Tony Henriquez, if you are listening to us, please note that the item is being held for further discussion at the request of the speaker who has registered.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to item number 3. Item number 3 is 24 GATESVIEW Avenue. And this is a minor variance application for construction of a new 1-story rear addition and a new rear deck. And we have before us 3 variances. We have Shafiqur Rahman as the owner and the agent. Shafiq, are you with us?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much. Please stay with us. Members of the committee, we have the owner and the agent with us today. Do you have any questions for the owner or the agent? Member Said?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very quick question from Rahman. I was wondering if there is any tree to be injured or removed while you are doing this extension, rear addition?
We don't have any tree. Only the apple tree, a small apple tree, is there in the backyard.
Thank you, Mr. Rahman.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you, Madam.
Okay, thank you, Member Said. Mr. Rahman, are you aware that there's a staff report from community planning on your application?
No, I have no idea about that.
Okay, so community planning provided a report to us recommending that if the application is approved, there's a condition that they are recommending. And that condition is that should the committee approve the application, the following condition be imposed. The requested variance for the building length and the building depth only apply to the one-story rear addition as shown on Figure 1 attached to the report, dated February 2nd. And what we have attached is a copy of your site plan as Figure 1. So
Yeah.
if the committee approves your application today, do you have any concerns with the committee imposing this condition that this plan be tied to your decision?
For my retirement home, I want only the one level.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, no problem to get in one level.
Okay, perfect. So basically, if this site plan is tied to the decision, you will be required to build in accordance with that site plan. And as you indicated, that extension is only for that one story, so that should be okay. So you have no concerns with
Yes.
this condition then? I understand?
Yes,
Okay.
I have no concern.
Thank you very much, sir. Members of the committee, you heard Mr. Rahman. He does not have any issues with the condition should the committee approve the application. So at this point, I'm looking for a motion if there are no further questions or concerns. Member Said?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As the applicant has confirmed that he has no objection, so subject to the condition that the variances for the building depth and building length should be limited to the one-story rear addition, I move the motion for approval of this application, only subject to the condition of community planning.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Said. May I have a seconder to this motion?
Madam Chair, I'll second the motion.
Member Taylor seconds the motion. All in favor of this motion? Thank you. The motion is carried. Your application has been approved, subject to the condition of community planning staff report recommendation. Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks, everybody.
I'll check. Member Macaulay, can you hear us?
Yes, I can,
Oh, okay. Because we
but I
could,
don't see that I've got my picture up here.
can you please turn on your video because we were unable to see you, so we weren't sure if you were connected. Could you please?
Ah, there you see me again.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I had to cancel everything, but I'm connected now.
Okay, perfect. So we can hear you well, we can see you. I would suggest at this point, could you mute yourself and only unmute yourself when you're speaking, but please have your video on at all times because I was unable to see you as I was asking for motions. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will mute myself. Sorry about that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so we have all the committee members now up and running. Okay. Okay, we now move to item number 5. Item number 5 is 8861 Shepherd Avenue East. And this is a minor variance application for construction of a new place of worship. And we have before us 2 variances. Listed with us is the agent, Martin Rendell. Do we have Martin online?
Yes, I'm here, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Martin. Thank you for your
Morning.
patience this morning. Members of the committee, we have Martin with us. Are there any questions for Martin at this time? Okay, I see none. I hear none. Okay, Martin, would you like to say anything at this point? There are no questions from the committee at this point, but would you like to have, do you have any comments at this time?
Yeah, the letter I submitted describes the two applications. The variance for FSI, we worked with staff since last summer. This is a technical matter in terms of a transition from the old Scarborough bylaw to the new harmonized bylaw. The variance comes up because floor area is defined differently in the bylaws, so it generates a different FSI number. The massing, the building does not change. So in my view, this is technical and really more of a drafting omission.
Okay.
The second variance deals with the side yard setback on the west side. The zoning bylaw lists a whole series of matters that can be included in what's defined as a landscape strip. It includes things like walkways, other hard surfaces. It does not include a grill over a window well, so the city takes the view that that particular matter is not permitted. However, the side yard setback is met. It's simply a matter of allowing the grill, which allows for sunlight into the lower level, common feature in buildings.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm happy to answer any questions that may arise from what I've said.
Okay. Members of the committee, you heard Mr. Rendell give a brief explanation on the variances. Do you have any questions for Mr. Rendell? I see none. All right, thank you, Mr. Rendell. I will take the matter into committee now. If there are no further questions, may I please have a motion on the application? And I just want to make sure if there's any condition. I do not see any condition. Okay. Member Said.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The variances before the committee are very technical. They are minor. So I would like to move the motion for approval of item number 5, and there are no conditions attached to that.
Okay. May I have a seconder, please? Member Taylor?
I'll second the motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? All opposed? Okay, so we have Member McKay in opposition to the motion, but the motion is carried and the application is approved. Thank you, Mr. Rendell, for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, we now move to item number 6. Item number 6 is 45 High Hill Drive. And okay, I'm just going to request the members again to mute themselves, please. We're getting a lot of feedback. Item number 6 is for 45 High Hill Drive. The application is to construct a new integral garage and second-story addition over the entire dwelling. And we have before us 3 variances. In terms of registered speakers, we have Jay Smith as the agent on the application. Is Jay with us? Thank you.
I'm here, Madam Chair.
Good morning. Thank you for your patience with us this morning, Jay.
Absolutely.
Members of the committee, we have Jay with us. Any questions for Jay at this time? Member Said.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Jay. Just wanted to have a quick clarification for variance number 2. Is this a variance? I believe this is maybe some typo there. The building depth you are asking is 17.9 meter, whereas permitted is 19 meter.
Oh.
Am I reading it correctly?
Yes, Yes, we had gone for a longer edition, and so there was a variance there. Then we dealt with planning staff, cut it back, so it became less than the 19 meters. But I think when the planning staff did, or the zoning examiner updated the notice, I think it just got left behind. So I think it's not really relevant in this case. There's really only two variances.
Okay, thank you very much. So variance number 2, in fact, is not there, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you, Member Said. That was a good catch. So staff, we have a modification to the variance notice. Is there something that would you like to say?
Through the chair, we will make sure that when the decision is finalized, it will be amended. It will be as amended to remove variance number 2.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much. Thank you, Member Said, again, and thank you, Jay. Before we take the matter into committee, would you like to say anything?
No, Madam Chair, I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, appreciate that. For record, Mr. Collins.
So if the committee does decide to approve it, I would recommend that approve as amended.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I just want to confirm one again for record that variance number 2 is not required, and should the committee approve this application, the application will be modified as discussed with removing variance number 2. And Jay, you're okay with that, right?
I am, Madam Chair.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So at this time, just want to, for record, we have 8 letters of support that the committee has received in support of this application. Members of the committee, I turn over to you now. Any further question or concern? If there isn't any, then may I please have a motion? Member Said.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move the motion for approval of item number 6 as amended variance number 2, and there are no other conditions attached to this approval.
Okay, thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Macaulay.
Madam Chair, I will second that motion.
All in favor of this motion? The motion carries. Your application has been approved as modified. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Okay. We now move to item number 7. Item number 7 is 107 Eastville Avenue. And I have a long list of registered speakers. So I will hold down this item and come back to it in the main body to allow all the speakers to speak and provide us with their comments. So item number 7 for 107 Eastville Avenue is being held. We now move to item number 8. Item number 8 is for 115 Y Valley Road. The application is to construct a new 2-story detached dwelling, and we have before us 4 variances. I have with us registered, the agent has registered with us, Kaushik Suthar. Are you with us, Kaushik?
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Kaushik. Thank you for your patience with us this morning.
Yes, I think it's okay.
Okay. So, members of the committee, we have the agent, Mr. Kaushik Suthar, with us. Do you have any questions for Kaushik at this time? Okay, I see none. Mr. Kaushik, before I take the matter into committee, do you have any comments on the application, on your proposal?
No, we are just building the new house for the family requirements, so we need some building length and the lot coverage, and for the heights variance only, that's once. And just the neighbor, they have the bigger house, they gone to the committee and they are there, so we are fine, and it's everything in the minor in the natures.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kaushik Suthar. For record, I'd like to state that we have received 4 letters of support from the neighbors of this property. So I now take the matter into committee. Committee members, If there are no further comments, may I have a motion? Member Saeed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Madam Chair, if Mr. Kashuk is aware of urban forestry conditions, which is condition number 1 and condition number 2, if the applicant is okay with that, I am willing to move the motion for approval of item number 8, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Okay, before I proceed, I want to check with Mr. Kaushik Sudhir. Are you aware of the urban forestry conditions, sir?
Yeah, I am aware of this one, and already we submit the applications to the urban forestry too.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Member Said. You're always looking up for those conditions for us. Appreciate that. We have a motion on the floor to approve the application subject to conditions of urban forestry. We have seconder. Member Macaulay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will second that motion, and I also want to state I am pleased to see the letters of support.
Thank you. So we have a motion and we have a seconder. All in favor of this motion? All opposed?
Madam Chair, we lost you for a moment.
Oh, okay, all right. Thank you for letting us know. Okay, no, thank you. So Gary just mentioned that he lost us for a couple of minutes. I'm not sure if others may have lost us too, so I'm going to do this again, I believe. So I will ask for Member Said to put the motion again on the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move the motion for approval for item number 8, subject to the conditions of urban forestry.
Thank you. Seconder, Member Macaulay, please go ahead.
Madam Chair, I will second that motion.
All in favor of this motion? Motion is carried. The application for 115 Y Valley Road has been approved, subject to conditions of urban forestry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we now move to item number 9. Item number 9 is 3A Larwood Boulevard. And we have with us Noor Elgendi as the agent. Are you with us, Noor?
Yes, I am, Madam Chair.
Good morning. Thank you for your patience with us this morning. Noor, your application before us is for a minor variance application to construct a new one-story sunroom addition to the rear of the building, and you have requested one variance for the rear yard setback reduction. There's a staff report from community planning. Have you had a chance to read that report and review the recommended condition?
No, I haven't received it.
Okay, so there was a community planning staff report dated February 9th, and basically the community planning does not have any concerns, but they're recommending that should the Committee of Adjustment approve this variance, a condition be imposed. And if you can see the screen, Katrine is pulling up the recommended condition that the owner shall build substantially in accordance with the drawing sheet number SP1.
Yes, okay.
Do you have any concern with this condition?
No, I have no problem with that.
Okay, thank you. So should the committee approve this, there could be a condition imposed, which has been recommended by community planning. That's before you. There was also a TRCA memo that we received, and there are no objections from the TRCA, no requirements. So members of the committee, any questions for Noor at this time? None? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. There are no questions, but I would like to confirm with Noor. Noor, do you have any comments at this time before the matter is taken into committee?
No, I don't.
Okay. Thank you very much. So members of the committee, Noor does not have any further questions or comments. She has reviewed the community planning staff report recommended condition. If there are no further comments, can I please have a motion? Member Macaulay.
Madam Chair, I will recommend approval of this application, subject to the community planning condition, which states that they will build in accordance with the drawing. And for greater clarity, any other information on that drawing will not be approved unless it pertains to the variance. So Madam Chair, I recommend approval.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Madam Chair. It's Gary McKay. Can you hear me?
Yes, actually, we can hear you. The chair's microphone is not working right now, so
Okay.
we will hold on. Give us one moment to fix this. Okay, sorry. Hello, hello, hello.
Testing. No, why is not even working? Testing.
Hi. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Hello?
Yeah, so she can shift the mic over if she needs to, but then you're gonna have to change the camera angle. Or actually, hold on, can she move this? Hold on, let's see. She's gonna try moving it.
It's a short line. Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay. So you know what? Well, I guess we'll see how that goes. She'll just talk really loudly, and
Sorry.
we'll work around this. But I guess a lot of things need a bit. I guess hopefully our next meeting is on March 11th. Hopefully this stuff's going to be able to be fixed before that. I'm hoping to put the service quality. So okay, I got to go back to the hearing. Okay, thanks a lot, Paul. Take care. Can you stay close by in terms of monitoring? Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, bye.
Okay, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, before I proceed, members of the committee, just checking, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm half hiding into the other table. Okay.
Through the chair, it's again, we had a technical difficulty. The chair's mic is not working, so we're just using the adjacent mic. So, thank you for your continued patience.
Thanks, Colin. So, members of the committee, we were on item number 9, 3A Larwood Boulevard. And I think we had a motion on the floor. So, Member Macaulay, can you go over the motion again, just so that it seems uninterrupted?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I recommend approval of this application subject to the community planning condition, which states that they will be building in accordance with the drawing submitted.
Thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Said?
Madam Chair, I second the motion for approval subject to the condition of community planning.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried and application for 3A Larwood Boulevard, item 9, has been approved subject to condition of community planning staff report. Thank you. We now move to item number 10. Item number 10 is 24 North Drive. The application before us is for construction of a new 2-story dwelling with an integral garage and finished basement. And we have before us 4 variances. And we have registered with us Mr. Ali Shakiri as the applicant, but we also have a registered speaker, Kimberly Fawcett-Smith. And it appears that Kimberly has not signed in yet. We are going to hold down this item and come back to it in the main body. And Kimberly Fawcett-Smith, if you are hearing us, please try to log in so that we can talk to you when we return to this item later on in the meeting. Thank you. So again, I will confirm that item number 10 is being held. Item number 11 is for 1373 Birchmount Road. And we have, this is an application for a minor variance to construct a new 2-story addition and a 2nd-story addition. And we have before us 6 variances. However, I would like to state that we have the agent, Patrick McAuliffe, listed with us, but also there's a neighbor in opposition, Yelda Namek and Lena Shahan. So thank you, Ali, for confirming that. We will hold down this item and come back to it in the main body. So Patrick, Yelda, and Lena, if you are listening to us, please note that we are holding down this item and we'll come back to it in the main body. Item number 12 is for 14 LEAHURST Drive. It's a minor variance application for a construction of a new 2-story detached dwelling, and we have before us 6 variances. We have registered with us Mr. Jonathan Minskowski. Thank you, Ellie, for confirming. Jonathan, are you with us?
Hi, Madam Chair. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for your patience with us this morning. Before I proceed, members of the committee, we have Jonathan with us. The application before us is requesting for 6 variances. Any questions for Jonathan? Okay, I see none. Colin, you had wanted to say something? Okay, oh, I will. Okay, for record, I would like to state that we did receive a letter of objection from the neighbor, and the committee has reviewed that letter of objection. Now, going back to Jonathan. Jonathan, there were no questions from the committee at this time. Do you have any comments on your application?
No, all I would say is that the depth request does include the covered basement. That's why there is a length and depth request. It isn't actually for livable area. It's for a below grade storage area below a rear deck. So there is actually no livable space beyond that 17-meter permitted from the zoning bylaw.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Anything else before I proceed to the committee?
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Members of the committee, I take the matter into committee now. If there are no questions or comments, may I have a motion, please? Member Taylor.
Madam Chair, I do have a question. Is the applicant aware of urban forestry conditions number 2 and 3?
I am aware of them and okay with them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Member Taylor. All right, so if no further questions or comments, may I please have a motion? This is the application for 14 LEAHURST Drive. Motion, please. Member Taylor. Member Taylor, please go ahead.
Yes, Madam Chair, I find the variances requested are in keeping with the 4 tests under the Planning Act, and I move for approval subject to urban forestry conditions 2 and 3.
Thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Said, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the motion for approval subject to the condition of urban forestry, condition number 2, condition number 3.
Okay, so Member Taylor moved the motion to approve. Member Said seconded the motion. All in favor of this motion? All opposed? All right. So Member Gary McKay opposes the motion. The application has been approved, subject to conditions of urban forestry.
Sorry, no, Madam Chair. I'm voting in the affirmative, voting to approve.
Oh, okay. It appears that there was a bit of a delay because, yeah, certainly a delay. So I'm going to
Thank you.
confirm that Mr. Gary McKay is in favor of this motion because of the delay due to technical difficulty. I saw his hand raised later on, and I thought he was in opposition, but he's actually in favor. So anyways, the application has been approved, subject to conditions of urban forestry. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. We now move to item number 13. Item number 13 is for 67 Bexhill Avenue. We have Nosheen Muzaffari as the agent, and we have Kimberly Fawcett-Smith, who has registered to speak with us in opposition. Thank you, Ali. So Kimberly, if you are listening to us, it appears that you have not logged in yet. We are going to hold down this item and come back to it in the main body of the meeting. So between now and that time, please try to log in so that we can hear your concerns on this application. Thank you. Item 13 is being held. We now move to item number 14. Item number 14 is for 133 Dunnington Drive. This is a minor variance application to construct a second-story addition over the existing dwelling, including a cantilevered portion at the rear. And we have before us one minor variance. Mark Cusack is the agent who is registered to speak. Mark, are you with us? Thank you, Ali.
Here, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Mark. Can you hear us?
I can. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience with us this morning. Mark, we have your application that the committee has reviewed, and we did receive the cover letter and the photos and all the documents that you've submitted. Do you have any comments at this time on your application?
I do not.
Thank you. Members of the committee, any questions or comments for Mr. Cusack? Okay, I see none. If there are no questions or comments, may I please have a motion on this application? All right, Member Saeed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The variance before the committee is minor, so I would like to move the motion for approval of item number 14, and there are no conditions attached to this approval.
Thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Macaulay.
Madam Chair, I'll second that motion.
All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried. The application for 133 Dunnington Drive has been approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We now move to item number 15. Item number 15 is for 70 DELWOOD Avenue. It's an application to construct a one-story rear addition and an addition to the existing one-story dwelling. We have before us 3 variances. The agent is here with us, Alex Boros. Alex, you're with us?
Yes, I'm here, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Alex, and thank you for your patience with us this morning.
Of course.
We have your application, and the committee has reviewed all the materials. Do you have any comment at this time?
Again, Madam Chair, this is a one-story addition to the rear of an existing bungalow. Actually, that same spot now occupies a concrete porch that my client has, and so we're enclosing that same space as above. And also, Madam Chair, I am aware of the urban forestry conditions. I have received the email for the same.
There are urban forestry conditions?
I believe I received it, but anyway, if not, it's not.
Okay. No,
I didn't see any, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Yeah, we
might have been.
Okay, so we did not receive any comments or any conditions from urban forestry, but staff will just double check for us.
Through the chair, we do not have any comments from.
We lost you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Please ignore my comment.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. So I will confirm there are no conditions from urban forestry. Is there anything further that you would like to say at this time, Alex, or should I take the matter into committee?
No, if you would, please.
Okay, thank you. Members of the committee, any questions for Alex? Member Macaulay?
Yes, for Alex, I note that he did not submit any building plans. Was that he didn't submit them, or did they not get attached?
I'm assuming they did not get attached, but definitely I did submit a complete set of plans.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Of course.
Okay, for the purposes of minor variances, but we did receive the required site plan for the purposes of minor variances, and we do have that on file, and staff can confirm.
Through the chair, we did actually, as Katrina's put up, we do have plans that were included in the agenda package. They're on the screen right now.
Yeah, there is a plan. There's a basement plan. There is a ground floor plan. And a roof plan. So we do have some plans. Oh, we have a full set of plans. There you go. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back. Any further questions for Alex at this time? I see, Katrine, can I see the members, please? Thank you. All right. No questions. Then can I please have a motion on the application? Member Saeed?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will move the motion for approval of this application. And Alex, we don't see any condition of urban forestry there. So this approval is without any conditions.
Thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Taylor?
I'll second Member Saeed's motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried. Alex, your application has been approved and there are no conditions.
Very much, Madam Chair and committee.
Thank you. Right, we now move to item number 16, which is 12 Lefracombe Crescent. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's item 16, and this is an application to permit the construction of a front and rear porch roof cover, a rear frame garage, and front concrete stairs. And there are two variances that are before the committee today. We have with us the agent, Bambad Baghdadi. Thank you, Ali.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, committee. This is Bamdad Baghdadi from BBA Design Studio.
Thank you, Bambad, and thank you for your patience with us this morning. We
Pleasure.
have your application before us, and for record, we did receive also the petition of support that includes 10 signatures from the area residents. So thank you for submitting that for us as well. Do you have any comments at this time?
No, Madam Chair, just a quick explanation regarding this garage. We are trying to design a garage so we can fit an RV inside. That's why we are a bit longer in length and our overhead door is a bit taller. So we can park the RV inside and away from the street and the side driveway.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. It's helpful. Members of the committee, any questions for Bambad? I see none. Well, thank you, Bambad. I will now take the matter into committee. Committee members, any comments, or are you ready with the motion? Okay. Member Taylor?
Yes, Madam Chair, I find the variances requested meet the four tests under the Planning Act, and I move for approval without conditions.
Thank you. May I have a seconder?
I'm sorry. With urban forestry condition 1.
Okay, thank you. Before I ask for a seconder, I want to check with Bambad. Bambad, are you aware of the conditions from urban forestry?
Yes, I'm aware, and also I communicated with them. There is no need for any application. This was just comments that we have to show a hoarding, and there's no issue with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have a motion on the floor by Member Taylor recommending approval of this application subject to condition of urban forestry. We have a seconder, Member McKay. Please go ahead.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll second that approval subject to that urban forestry condition. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried, and the application for 12 Lefracombe Crescent has been approved subject to condition of urban forestry. Thank you, Bambad.
Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thanks. Okay.
Madam Chair, it's Gary McKay. I don't have any video feed of any of the other members at this time, although my audio is okay. Just letting you know.
No, thank you for letting us know. But can you hear all the members?
Yes, I can hear all the members. I can't see them, unfortunately.
Okay, so how about this? We're on our last item for vetting. Once we're done that, we'll take a couple of minutes to make sure that your video feed is back. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
We are on
Thank
the last item with respect to vetting the agenda. Item 17 is for 82 Commonwealth Avenue. This is a minor variance application to construct a new one-story rear sunroom addition, and we have two variances before us. We have with us the owner, Deochan Bahadur. Is he with us? Thank you, Ali. Mr. Bahadur, you're with us? Mr. Deochand Bahadur, can you say something, please, if you're hearing us? And you can see him online? Okay. Mr. Deochand Bahadur, can you hear us? Try unmuting your device. Mr. Deochand Bahadur, can you hear us? If you do, please say something. Please unmute yourself. All right, it seems like we can see Mr. Deochand is logged in, but we can't hear him. To keep the flow of the meeting going, I'm going to ask the committee members if...
Hi, yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, I had to dial in for some reason. Sorry about that, Madam Chair. I thought I can hear you clearly on the WebEx, but I had to dial in on my phone.
No problem at
So
all.
thank you for...
No problem. No problem at all. We're experiencing the same since this morning, so we can certainly echo your sentiments there. Thank you for your patience with us. So, Mr. Bahadur, I was just, we've just introduced your application, and do you have any comments at this time?
Yeah, my only comments is that I have a deck currently in the position I'm asking for the sunroom addition, and all I want to do is to cover this up. As both my wife and I are retired, and we want to enjoy a little bit of the outdoors as much by being outside some more. And so we're asking for this application to be approved through the committees and to Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bahadur, for your comments. Committee members, any questions for Mr. Bahadur? Okay, I see none. I take the matter into committee. If there are no comments or questions, may I please have a motion? And I just want to double check if there are no conditions there. Okay, so looking for a motion now. Member Macaulay, please go ahead.
Madam Chair, I recommend approval of this application as a minor variance. I see there are no conditions.
Thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Taylor?
Madam Chair, I would second that approval.
Okay. Member McKay seconds the motion. All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried. The application for 82 Commonwealth Avenue has been approved. Thank you, Mr. Bahadur.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so this brings us to the end of the vetting of the agenda. We held back a few items. I will confirm with everyone. Just go through the list. So we held down item number 2, item number 7, item number 10, item number 11, and item number 13. Perfect, okay. So I got a green signal. I think I've captured all. So we're gonna just take a 2-minute break to check with Gary with his video display issue. Gary, can you see us now? Or can you see all the other video feeds?
Hi, Madam Chair. I can hear you well, but no, I'm not able to see anyone other than myself on screen. Perhaps I'll stop my video and restart it.
Try that. Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask for a 5-minute break.
Okay, all right. So the recommendation is that we take a 5-minute break to allow Gary to set up and for us to kind of, just before we get into the main body, give us a 5-minute break. All right, thank you very much. Please stay tuned.
Thank you.
So we are paused for a short break. We will be back in 5 minutes, which is 11:55. Thank you.
Okay.
Gary, can you see us now?
Hey, Gary. Gary? Gary, can you hear me? Gary? Is he muted or not? He just needs to just ask him, like, we just want him to log in, log out, leave the meeting, and then come back in.
Gary, can you hear us? You're muted.
Unmute yourself.
Leave the meeting and log back in.
Yes. Yeah, just do that. Okay? Let us know how it goes.
Thank you.
Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test.
Hi, this is Gary. I can see the video for Anne and also for Hannah. Just letting you know.
Okay. Do you need to take a break, Gary? We got a 5-minute break now. No. No. Okay, so you don't. Test, test, test. Shuba just answered me, so it's okay. Don't worry.
Don, can you hear us? Oh, and, okay, perfect. Just wanted to check if you were there. But we don't have Anne yet. Anne, can you please resume? Okay, thank you. We're good? Okay, all right. Welcome back, everyone. We are now going to be discussing the items that were held this morning. Item number 2 was held. Item number 2 is 21 Melva Crescent, and we have the applicant Tony Henriquez with us. Thank you, Ali. Tony, you're with us?
Yes, good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. And Rini Susanti, you're with us? Rini or Rini? Okay.
Hello, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think my wife is not here anymore. I think she just left. I think
Okay, so we held down this item because she wanted to ask some questions. I'm going to start with hearing this application. If she happens to come back during this hearing, then that's great. If not, then unfortunately, we'll have to move forward with the application.
yeah, I think she mentioned to me she just wanted to know. I mean the reason for the extension. I think that's what she told me.
Okay, perfect. So you know her question. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so just bear with us. I will get back to you in a moment. So Tony, finally, your application is here to permit the construction of a 2-story rear addition to the existing dwelling, and we have 2 variances before us. Tony, would you like to say anything on your application? And you also heard Rini's question asking for the purpose of this extension. Please go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to address the the question. Basically, what we're proposing is we're proposing an addition to a single-family dwelling, which will be owned, used, and by the owner. There is no commercial. I know there was 2 letters there from 28. They had some concerns about being commercial or multi-unit. This is going to be a single-family dwelling, and it's going to be used by the owner. Basically, we have 2 variances. We're technically just asking for the 1 variance, which is the gross floor area. The parking is actually existing, and we're not changing that at all. That was built with, looks like it was a garage built with the original house, and that's the same size as it was originally constructed.
Okay, great. Thank you for that explanation. So, Rini's husband, you heard the explanation? Yes, and can we have your name, sir?
Yes, yes. This is Danny. Danny. My name is Danny. Yeah.
And the last name, please?
Yeah, it's Wira Pratama. WIRAPRATAMA.
Okay, so WRIATRA.
Sorry, Wira Pratama. WIRA.
Okay.
PRATAMA.
Okay. All right. Staff, I hope you've captured it. Okay, thank you, Danny. So Mr. Henriquez has explained the purpose of the extension, and I'm going to leave it at that. So appreciate your time. Now I will move to Tony. Tony, thank you for answering that question. Is there anything else that you would like to say at this time for the committee members?
Yes, the only thing I'd like to mention is that I have been in contact with the planning department, and they have no concerns as well. So I'd just like to mention that as well.
Okay, thank you for that comment. Just want to check one thing here. We have a memo from Urban Forestry, and there are 2 conditions that the Urban Forestry has put forward. Are you aware of those conditions?
Yes, we are aware, and we are willing to comply.
Okay, thank you very much. Members of the committee, any questions for, please go ahead, Member Macaulay. I can't see everyone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a question, and perhaps either you or a staff member can answer it. There was a concern that the backyard of this property was occupied by a former swimming pool that had not been properly filled in. I believe as part of the building permit application, there would be an inspection, and that would be addressed at that time. Perhaps staff could comment on that.
Colin, please go ahead.
Through the chair, you are correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions or comment from any member? Member Saeed?
Madam Chair, just for sake of more clarity, I wonder if Mr. Tony has responded to the questions of Rini, and was Rini is in opposition, or she or he is favoring this application?
So Member Saeed, I would like to clarify that Rini was unable to attend. So her husband, Danny, asked the question on behalf of his wife, and the question was answered, and there was no further comment. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make it sure that both the applicants and the other parties clear about the purpose of this application. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any further questions for Tony? I see none. All right. Tony, I will take the matter into committee, but is there anything else that you would like to say before I take the matter into committee?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, members of the committee, you heard Tony provide the explanation, and we have also been able to provide a response to Rini's husband, who was with us. If there are no comments or questions, may I please have a motion? And there are 2 conditions of urban forestry, and Tony is aware of those and has no issues. Mr. Said.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Tony, for your elaboration on that and your understanding about the urban forestry conditions. So I would like to move the motion for approval of item number 2, subject to the conditions of condition number 1 and condition number 2 of urban forestry.
Thank you. May I have a seconder? Member Taylor.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried and the application has been approved subject to conditions of urban forestry. Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, we now move to item number 7. Item number 7 is for 107 Eastville Avenue. This is a minor.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Yes. Yes, member.
Sorry, thank you, Madam Chair. With your permission, I have a conflict of interest for this item, so I will be stepping aside during the hearing for this item.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding Member Said. So please step away. Or what you can do is switch off your video and switch off your mic.
Okay.
Good, perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So Member Said had a conflict of interest on this application. Thank you for reminding us, Member Said. It was a tricky day today. So we have the rest of the panel members here. Item number 7 we're dealing with is for 107 Eastville Avenue. This is an application to construct a new 2-story detached dwelling. And we have before us 6 variances. I will go through the list of all the registered speakers. It's like a roll call, just to make sure they're all present here. So the first one is the owner's agent, Robert Lavakia. Thank you. Robert, are you there?
I'm here, yep.
Thank you. Confirming, Luke, are you with us? Luke is the applicant.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, Luke. Please stay with us. The first registered speaker from the neighborhood is Sandra Verdon. Sandra, you're with us?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Please stay with us for a moment. Jennifer Robinson or Gary McRudden, are you with us?
Watching.
Gary, are you with us? You're watching or you're there, right?
Yes, I'm watching.
Okay.
Watching for my daughter.
Through the chair, you may want to confirm if this person is observing or do they wish to speak?
Okay, thank you. Gary, would you like to speak to this item or you're just observing?
I'm just observing on behalf of my daughter.
Perfect. Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you.
The next person we have is Kareem Mikhail and Christine Georges.
Yes. Kareem Mikhail here.
Perfect, thank you. And you have Christine with you?
No, she's not available. So I'm representing the both of us.
Okay, thank you for confirming that. Please stay with us for a moment. Ross Webster.
Yes, I'm here, Madam Chair. Can
Okay.
you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much for joining, and just stay with us for a moment, please. I will come back to you. And I'm checking in. Is Kimberly Fawcett Smith with us? And staff has advised me that Kimberly has not signed in. I will repeat, if Kimberly, you are listening, in that we are dealing with item 7 for 107 Eastville Avenue. Please log in if you wish to speak to this item. All right, so I will now go back to Robert, the owner's agent. Robert, we have your application before us. Do you have any comments on your application or would you like to make a presentation?
Yes, I would like to make a presentation.
Okay, all
I
right.
was wondering if I could share my screen.
Can he share his screen?
Through the chair, the applicant should have provided this information before the written, before the written submission deadline. So we're unable to share the screen at this time. If he wishes to, we can share the materials that were submitted, and he could just let us know which stuff he'd like, which materials he'd like us to share for the committee.
Okay, thank you, Colin. So Robert, you heard Colin. Unfortunately, you're unable to share the screen with the presentation, but Katrine will help us with viewing the materials that were submitted with the application. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. I guess normally we can bring things to the presentation, but my difficulties in doing it remotely, I suppose.
Sure.
What I wanted to show is really what's already up, but
Okay. But just wait for a second. Katrine would like to say something.
Through the chair, Rob LaVecchia actually provided the presentation early on this morning, so I have it up on the screen.
Okay, so Katrine has just confirmed that a presentation was received this morning from you. So she has it up on the screen. Are you able to see the presentation? Is that the same one that you're referring to?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you can let Katrine know to flip back and forth, and she'd be able to assist you on that. So please go ahead with your presentation. You have 5 minutes.
Perfect, thank you. I'm just going to quickly go through the variances and the planning rationale for the proposal. The first variance is the proposed floor area, 0.6 times the lot area. The general intent purpose of the zoning bylaw are to permit residential uses within buildings that are appropriately sized for the lot they are situated on. Zoning bylaw provides for a sliding scale of maximum permitted floor area relative to lot size, and as it relates to the subject lands, restricts the maximum permitted floor area to the lesser of half the times the lot area, or the lesser of 279 square meters. In this regard, the bylaw contemplates a range of floor areas dependent on the lot specifics. The size of the proposed dwelling is in keeping with recently constructed dwellings in the area and will provide for greater housing options among 4-bedroom dwellings. The continued redevelopment and reinvestment in the area with modern homes is desirable for maintaining the strength of the local housing market. The proposed variances will not adversely impact the character of the streetscape, as floor area in itself is largely indiscernible from the public realm, provided that the required setbacks are maintained. As it relates to the proposal, the requested increase in permitted floor space does not require any reduction in the minimum required front, interior side, or rear yards. In particular, the proposed rear yard is in excess of 19 meters, which is almost double the minimum requirement of 10.5 meters. In addition, the interior portion of the proposed dwelling above grade is 15.2 meters in length, which is less than the permitted 17-meter building length, with the variance required only to recognize the below-grade portions of the dwelling as well as the deck grade, which really have no visual impact on any abutting properties. Lastly, the maximum permitted building coverage of 33% is maintained, with the proposed coverage being 30%, providing a reasonably sized footprint. Given there is no impact to required setbacks, maximum permitted building length, or lot coverage, the impact of the requested variance is limited and minor in nature. With respect to stormwater management, as noted above, the lot coverage is less than the permitted maximum, which maintains the minimum required area of the lot not covered by buildings. Furthermore, it is proposed that downspouts from the roof will direct roof runoff to permeable areas of the lot and allow for passive stormwater infiltration. No grade changes are proposed at the property line, and all stormwater is proposed to be retained on the subject lands until conveyed to city sewers. To ensure stormwater is retained, swells are proposed along the north and south limits of the subject lands, which will collect and store any surface runoff before entering any neighboring properties, allowing for some storage, further passive infiltration, and stormwater is conveyed again towards the city sewers, and will mitigate any impact. The city's engineering department has been circulated on the proposed application, does not provide any objection to the proposal, or commented that an adverse stormwater impact on city infrastructure would result from the proposal. Lastly, the grading plan has been reviewed by a professional engineer who confirms there will be no overland flow to adjacent properties. The proposed increase in the maximum permitted floor area will have limited visual impact on the surrounding properties, is minor in nature, and desirable given the redevelopment of the subject lands. The proposed dwelling is in keeping with other recently constructed dwellings in the area, maintains minimum required setbacks, maximum building length, and maximum lot coverage, and any perceived stormwater impact can be mitigated. Next slide. Slide number 2, please. Proposed building length of 7.6 meters. The general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw are to permit residential uses within buildings that are appropriate in length. As stated above, the interior portion of the proposed dwelling above grade is 15.2 meters in length, which is less than the permitted 17-meter building length. This variance is requested to accommodate the below-grade portion of the dwelling and first floor deck above. This below-grade portion of the interior space and main floor deck above have no discernible visual impact on the abutting properties and are therefore minor in nature. The variance is also desirable given the redevelopment of the land and will provide for additional points of ingress and egress to the building, providing flexibility. Third variance, slide number 3. A total of 47.7% of the front yard will be maintained as landscape. The general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw are to ensure front yards include an appropriate amount of hard and soft landscape areas, providing a positive and attractive streetscape and appropriately sized areas for parking motor vehicles. The proposed front yard landscape area of approximately 48% of the front yard area is a very minor reduction and allow for an appropriate driveway width. The driveway width is proposed to provide sufficient setback to the proposed retaining walls flanking the driveway, allowing space for car door swing and ease of vehicle boarding. Due to the grading of the front yard, the retaining walls allow the driveway and garage to be located at street level and allow for a consistent finished floor elevation along the main floor, which are desirable and will result in an attractive streetscape. The proposed variance is minor in nature, with a 2% reduction being largely indiscernible to passersby and is appropriate given the redevelopment of the subject lands. Fourth slide, please. A total of 60.3% of the front yard landscaping will be maintained as soft landscaping. The general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw are to ensure front yards have an appropriate amount of soft landscaping that can absorb rainwater and contribute to an active and attractive streetscape. Due to the grading of the front yard, retaining walls and steps, which are considered hard landscaping, are required to provide a flat parking area at street level and access to the main entrance. In order to mitigate the impact of hard landscape areas on stormwater retention, permeable pavers are proposed for the 3 landings in the walkway to the front yard entrance, increasing the permeable area of the front yard by almost 10 square meters to a total of over 32 square meters, or approximately 81% of the front yard area. This is an overall increase in the area that could be passively infiltrate stormwater, minimizing impact while contributing to the aesthetic quality of the front yard landscape design.
30 seconds left.
Next slide, please. Oh, actually, variance 5 is going to be withdrawn. In response to feedback from the public, particularly from 105 and 109 Eastville, which directly abut the subject lands, the variance is going to be withdrawn and whatever is constructed will comply. The final variance is the proposed eaves and eaves trough to be located 0.2 from the south lot line. General intent and purpose of the official plan are to allow for appropriate building element encroachments. This variance is requested in consideration that the minimum required interior side yard setback of 0.9 meters is being maintained, and the variance would allow the proposed soffit depth and eaves trough to increase the catchment area of the roof structure and the rainwater collected. This proposed roof overhang, together with downspouts that will direct the roof runoff onto permeable areas of the lot, will allow for passive stormwater infiltration. As stated above, swales are proposed.
Time's up, sir.
To the subject lands.
You need to start wrapping up.
I mean, the last point of that is just that the reduction in the setback to the eaves of 10 centimeters is minor in nature, generally out of the line of sight for any passersby, making the result largely indiscernible.
Okay.
And the requested variance is minor in nature, will have no visual impact.
Thank you, sir. Robert, I had to, sorry for interrupting you, but it was 5 minutes. So thank you for your presentation. At this time, I will ask the committee members if they have any question for Robert. Member Taylor, please go ahead.
Yes, Robert, are you aware of an okay with urban forestry conditions 1 and 2? 2 and 3, sorry.
Yeah, 2 and 3, correct. Application already been submitted, and it is acknowledged that it speaks to the fact as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Member McKay?
Robert, yes, I had a concern about the platform. So that's variance number 5, and that's going to be deleted. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Robert, we're having a little difficulty in hearing you. Can you please speak up? So the question was, is variance number 5 being withdrawn? Can you please confirm?
Yes, variance 5 is being withdrawn.
Okay, we're getting some echo and some feedback, so yeah, so you may want to speak directly into the microphone. Okay. Members of the committee, Robert has just confirmed that variance number 5 is being withdrawn, which pertains to the permitted area of the platform. Any further questions for Robert at this time? Okay, I see none. Thank you, Robert. Please stay with us. I know we also had Luke as the applicant. I just want to check with Luke if he wanted to say something on his application.
Yes, hello committee. Hello, Madam Chair. I actually wasn't expecting to speak at this. It just kind of caught me by surprise. The only thing I wanted to say is that my family currently lives in Leslieville, and we are very much looking forward to moving to this area. My wife is a teacher, and I work in the construction industry, and actually I love Scarborough. We're doing a lot of stuff in Scarborough currently.
Okay.
This is a difficult site to build on, which kind of, has more variances than maybe you normally would see. But I do feel that the property is similar to the other new properties built in the area. There's a lot of properties. This area is constantly undergoing demolition of older bungalows and replacement with new 2-story homes. And I strongly feel that the property that we're building is smaller than the other houses, and it actually will fit into the area very nicely. When we found out about the opposition, some of the opposition to the landscaping and things like that, I did hire on my civil engineer, Lethos Engineering, who's done hundreds of projects in the city already. And they kind of went through the design. They went through, infiltration. So there's not going to be any issues with the neighbors for water. We have infiltration trenches. We have swales. So in terms of that, there's not going to be any issues. And I look forward to moving into the area. Thank you.
No, thank you, Luke, and thank you for speaking with us. Because your name was on the list, so I had to check in with you if you wanted to speak, but I really appreciate your comments. I'm now going to move on to speaking with the neighbors who have registered. The first on the list is Sandra. Sandra, are you with us?
I am.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your patience with us. I just want to let you know that we did receive your letter dated February 10th. We have it on file and committee members have reviewed it. So I would appreciate if you can provide your concerns, in addition to anything else that you have, apart from the letter, and you have your 5 minutes now.
Thank you. So my name is Sandra Verdon. I'm the owner of 105 Eastville, which is adjacent to 107. And I am going to be reading from some speaking points that I made as a guide so I could cover my areas of concern. I've lived here for 27 years. When I purchased this home, it was because of a very private backyard, the mature trees, and expansive green space, as well as being a modest-sized home, which I could afford. Over the past several years, there's been a lot of development in the neighborhood. Most of the original smaller homes have been replaced with much larger 2-story homes. While I appreciate redevelopment will occur, I'm very concerned about the variance requests submitted for 107 Eastville and the impact to me as a direct neighbor. With regard to variance requests 1 and 2, the size of the proposed house exceeds the current zoning bylaws in both square footage and length. I know we just heard that the length of the house is now at 15.2 meters in length, which I assume does not include the platform deck in the back. By comparison, my house is 7.66 meters in length. So it's going to be double the length of my house. While the variance requested may seem small, it contributes to a request in the increase of the overall permitted floor space. It will significantly reduce the open sky and treetop views from half of my backyard, as well as reducing light to the interior of my home. I appreciate the fact that variance number 5, which was going to be my next topic, has now been removed. If there is still a plan to provide a platform deck at the allowed 4 square meters, it will continue to have a direct overview into my backyard, which I use extensively, and I have a great deal of enjoyment from the privacy and the peacefulness that it's always provided. The size of the house seems to be too large for the existing lot. In order to accommodate the garage and home, there will be significant regrading proposed, which is resulting in the variances for the reduction of the size of the front yard landscaping and the reduction in soft landscaping from 75 to 60.3%. The value of permeable soft landscaping contributes to mitigating water runoff to the street and neighboring properties. There's already an issue at this corner with water pooling, seepage, and ice buildup in the winter. The variance number 6 with regard to the easement setback, again, may seem minor in nature. The drawings show downspouts on the rear and front of the house. There's potential for water runoff to flow directly over into my driveway from the expansive roof and the downspouts. My driveway is on a slope, and any extra overflow of water leading to ice buildup becomes a personal safety hazard in exiting my home. I previously slipped on ice in my driveway, which resulted in a broken hip. I asked that this variance be refused. In summary, I do look forward to redevelopment of 107 Eastville, as the current house has been vacant for 3 years. I only ask that redevelopment should be done within the current existing zoning bylaws. Thank you for your time and the opportunity to express my concerns.
Thank you, Sandra, for your comments. Please stay with us. Once we have had a chance to hear all the residents, we will get back to Robert and ask for a response from him on your comments and concerns. Thank you. I now move to Gary McRudden, who is I think he's only observing, he's not speaking. Okay, all right, so my apologies. We now move to Kareem Mikhail and Christine Georges. Kareem, you're with us?
Yes, I am.
All right, Kareem. So you have 5 minutes, and please go ahead.
Yeah, it shouldn't take that long. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. So, yeah, I echo some of the message in terms of us looking forward to this property being redeveloped. It is indeed in need of this redevelopment. However, one of the concerns we have is to accommodate some of these variances. Some of the trees in the backyard will be removed. And the back of this house is, in fact, all of the trees at the ends of different backyards contribute to this green space between all the homes. And it will be appropriate to include in the new plans some trees to replace the ones that are going to be removed to accommodate the new home. I think near the end of the lot, it would be nice to plant some trees there as well to contribute to that green space. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. That was short. Please stay with us. We will get back to you in a moment once we get to Robert. Next on the list, we have Ross Webster. Ross?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Ross. So you have 5 minutes. Please let us know what your concerns are on this application.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Ross Webster. My wife and I have lived at 21 Brooklawn for more than 30 years. I am speaking here today to express my opposition to this application for variance requests. I am reading my prepared statement. I only have 5 minutes, so I want to make sure that I cover all of the points that I'd like to make. I also want to make it clear that I am not going to waste the committee's time by simply reading my letter of objection. My neighbors and I have no objection to new rebuilds that are replacing the small post-war homes in the Cliff Crest area. But we do object to the building of oversized houses that are too large for the size of lots that are involved. The zoning bylaw and the official plan were created to ensure that there are controls over new development. The property at 107 Eastville Avenue is currently in the process of being purchased by the applicant in this variance request hearing. A letter from the current owner is posted on the AIC stating this fact. There's no mention, though, of a closing date for the sale of this property. On the Committee of Adjustment application form, it would ask CTAC if possible to comply. The response on the form for 107 Eastville states that this proposal includes a garage that is attached to the dwelling, which adds more square footage to the entire building. Now, when it comes to calculating the floor area of this house, that statement is not correct. The area of the garage as well as the area of the basement are not included in the floor area calculation. This brings me to variance request number 1, which deals with the maximum permitted floor area. The applicant is requesting an increase of 20% above the allowable floor area. This is an increase in the FSI from the allowable 0.5 up to 0.6, and it has nothing to do with the area of the garage. It only includes the area of the first and second floors. This variance request of 20% is major, not minor. Now, I'm happy to see that the rear balcony variance has been taken off. Variance request number 2, though, deals with the building length. There's a requested variance of 0.6 meters above the allowable length of 17 meters, essentially making the house 2 feet longer than the allowable. This may appear to be a minor variance, but the extra 0.6 meters adds to the already oversized GFA for this proposed house. Requested variance number 6 deals with the minimum setback required for the eaves and eaves troughs on the side of the house. A reduction of 0.2 meters may appear minor, but it is indicative of the problem with a house this large being squeezed onto this small 35-foot wide property. Requested variance number 4 refers to the amount of soft front yard landscaping. The minimum allowable is 75% of the front yard. A request is being made to have that reduced by 20%. And again, this is not a minor variance. With the size of house that is being requested, the inherent water drainage issues from the large roof area will be compounded even further by such a large reduction in permeable front yard landscaping. The issues of water drainage will be problematical for the abutting neighbors in both warm weather and in winter's freezing temperatures. This application fails the 4 tests needed for Committee of Adjustment approval. Too many of the requested variances are not minor. The cumulative effect of all 6 variances makes this proposal undesirable for appropriate development of this property. The general intent and purpose of both the zoning bylaw and the official plan are not being maintained with this application. I'm getting to the end. The proposed house is too large for this lot and would have a very detrimental effect on the abutting neighbors on Eastville Avenue. It would also set a very negative precedent that, if allowed, could lead to a proliferation of oversized houses on 35-foot lots in the area. The official plan states that development in established neighborhoods will respect and reinforce the existing physical character of each geographic neighborhood. It is for all of the above reasons that I urge the Committee of Adjustment to refuse this application. Thank you for the opportunity to speak at this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Webster. You were on mark for 5 minutes. Appreciate that. Your comments have been heard, and I'm sure Mr. Robert has taken notes, and we will get back to him for a response. Before I do that, I want to check again for the last time. Kimberly Fawcett Smith has not joined, and staff has confirmed that. We will now move along. So, Robert, we're back to you. You heard the concerns that were raised by Sandra, Kareem, and Ross. How would you like to address these comments and concerns?
So I think it's important to remember that the city's engineering department has reviewed the application, including from stormwater management.
We're losing you, Robert. I can't hear you well.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
You need to speak in the microphone in case you're not.
Is this better?
This is much better. Carry on. If there's, again, a fading out, I will let you know.
Okay, thank you. So the city's engineering department has reviewed the application, including any impact on the city.
No, I'm sorry, Robert. Still can't hear you. It's your,
Is this?
it looks like your equipment issue. No.
I took my headphones out and I'm just using the speakerphone now.
Mute your other device.
It's muted.
There's something that is echoing. Yeah, either mute the other device or turn the volume down. We could hear you clearly, but there was a lot of echo.
I did close my web browser now, and I'm just on my phone. Is that better?
This is much better. Thank you. Please carry on.
Perfect. No problem. So I guess I just want to reiterate, this has been reviewed by the city's engineering department, including from a stormwater management perspective, which should confirm that there's no detrimental impact to the city's infrastructure. We've taken this a step further, and we've had an engineer, a water resource engineer, review the site plan from a stormwater management perspective, and they've confirmed through the provision of the swales and the other measures that I noted that there is no adverse impact on abutting properties, and all the stormwater from the subject lands will remain on the subject lands until they are conveyed to the city sewers at the front yard. There was comments about trees being removed. There are removals required, and 5 new trees are going to be planted, 2 in the front and 3 in the back. And an application to the city's urban forestry department will require replacements, and where trees can't be accommodated at the 3-to-1 replacement rate, cash in lieu is provided so that trees can be planted elsewhere in the city, improving the tree canopy. With respect to building depth, there was a question about how deep the building is above grade, and the above grade portion is 15.2 meters, which doesn't include the deck at the back. But again, there's no enclosed space above the basement beyond the 15.2 meter mark, which is less than the permitted building length of 17 meters. So someone could potentially comply with the zoning bylaw and build a longer home. And they could also increase the coverage by 3%, covering more of the lot. Not necessarily more floor space, but covering more of the lot if it were reconfigured. The house, as proposed, is under 3,000 square feet. When you think about modern living in a 4-bedroom home, that's not unreasonable. The comment about what is included and not included in GFA, that comment was correct. Basements and garages are not included. With respect to ownership, I'm not sure if the agreement of purchase and sale has closed, but once I'm done, the owner should be able to confirm that. The increase from 0.5 lot coverage to 0.6 is minor. It's a 10% increase from 50% to 60%. With respect to the amount of soft landscaping in the front yard, in order to recognize that stormwater management is important and that infiltrating stormwater on site is important, the applicant has agreed to use permeable pavers in the front walkway, which once you add the area of those permeable pavers to the soft landscaping calculation, we are providing in excess of the 75% in terms of area that can passively infiltrate stormwater, which I think mitigates the impact of that variance. And then with respect to precedent, I know committee knows each application should be considered on its own merit, and I don't think that this application will result in others, trying to do anything that isn't substantiated by the specific application that would be submitted. That's all I would have to respond with.
Okay, thank you, Robert. I will now move to the members of the committee. Members of the committee, questions? Member Macaulay, please go ahead.
Thank you. Staff put up the
and we can't, and there's a lot of interruption.
Please.
And we can't hear you. Oh, and we lost you.
We just had it on.
And it appears that your Wi-Fi is not helping you there. We did not hear anything that you said. Would you please repeat?
Can you hear me now?
It's getting better. Now I see a buffering sign, which means we're losing you. How about this? I'll give you a couple of minutes to set again. But until such time, Member Taylor, Member McKay, any questions for Robert?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay. No, she's having trouble. Okay, Anne, you're having trouble. I'll give you a couple of minutes if you can. I don't know if you can hear me. I'll give you a couple of minutes for your Wi-Fi to kind of restore or pick up. Meanwhile, I will see if Member Taylor or Member McKay have any questions. Okay, Member Taylor has no questions. Member McKay, any questions? We can't hear you.
No, Madam Chair. Well, having said no, I just wanted to confirm. So the proposed dwelling is 3,000 square feet. Is that correct?
That's what we heard. The GFA on the notice lists the GFA or the FSI as 269.65 square meters. So that's approximately just under 3,000 square feet.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, Member Macaulay, it seems like you're back. Please go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Good. Thank you. Muting and unmuting, those buttons don't work very fast. I have two questions for the applicant, and it's really just to confirm what he said. One is the building length of 17.6 meters is still required, even though the building above grade will only be 15.2 meters. Can he confirm that?
Robert, please go ahead.
That's correct. The deck and below grade living space are included in total building length, even though they are largely below grade and not visible.
Okay. The second item was the reference to the balcony. You have withdrawn that requirement.
That's correct. In response to the concerns that the neighbor had about their privacy, the applicant has agreed to withdraw that variance. I understand that the real desire was to have a somewhat weatherproofed back deck where it could be used in inclement weather, which I believe is permitted. And ultimately, the building permit drawings will be reviewed, and whatever is constructed above that deck would have to comply with the zoning bylaw.
Okay, thank you. And I guess the third question that was raised by the objectors was your tree preservation plan. I believe that has to go to the Tree Preservation Advisory Committee. Have they had a copy of that plan?
Well, the arborist report was submitted with the minor variance application, and urban forestry is circulated. They've provided their conditions to require a permit to injure or remove trees on private property. And that process has been initiated. The application has been submitted with the fees paid to the city, and that process is underway. Again, whatever tree protection bylaw requirements there are will have to be complied with.
Okay, thank you. And the last item here, you made reference to the landscaping in the front yard. And you are requesting 60% landscaping versus 75%, but you have suggested that the sidewalk will be of permeable materials. Have you looked at how that affects your percentage? Can we get you back up to 75%? Perhaps both the driveway and the sidewalk can be made of permeable materials.
So if the walkway were made of permeable materials, I noted that we would be up to 81% of permeable area. If we included the driveway, we would be 100% because that's all that's left. I guess, the zoning bylaw considers two types of landscaping, both soft landscaping and hard landscaping. And the intent of the soft landscaping provision is number one, aesthetic, and number two, to maintain some reasonable degree of stormwater infiltration on lot. And I think the permeable pavers are a reasonable compromise that allow the intent of the bylaw to be maintained while recognizing the constraints of the lot with respect to grading, requirement for retaining walls and walkways and steps, which are hard landscaping and don't qualify as soft landscaping. So in order to address the concerns that the public has made about stormwater, we felt that it was reasonable to propose that walkway be made of permeable pavers so that we could increase the permeable area of the front yard above and beyond what the minimum requirement would otherwise be.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you, Member Macaulay. Can you hear me? Okay. I don't know what to do. Hello? Can you hear us? Can you hear me? No. Can any member confirm if they can hear me?
Yes, Madam Chair, it's Gary McKay. I can hear you.
Oh, okay, all right. I couldn't hear the usual noise. I wasn't sure. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Member Macaulay. Members, again, just confirming any further questions for Robert or any of the residents that spoke today. Okay, I see none. Thank you. Robert, over to you now. Before we take the matter into committee, I would just like to confirm if you have anything else to add.
No, that's everything. I don't have anything else unless there are any other questions.
Thank you.
Through the chair, I just want to confirm two matters here. One is that the applicant, should the committee approve this application, it would be approved as amended to remove variance number 5, which is the second floor balcony variance. And the other issue is should the committee, if the committee wishes to require permeable pavers, they need to have that as a specific condition.
Okay, thanks, Colin. That's a good suggestion for committee to consider. Committee members, you heard Colin's suggestion to include permeable pavers to help with the, okay, just a suggestion. Okay, it's not Colin's recommendation, it's a suggestion that should committee wish to consider, they can look into that as well. Member Macaulay. Member Macaulay, please go ahead. Unmute yourself and please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay, I recommend approval of this application, subject to the deletion of the approval for a platform on the second floor, and subject to the provision of permeable paving in the front yard, the pedestrian access, and subject to the tree preservation plan. I recommend approval subject to those three conditions.
Okay, so we need some clarification on the condition. Could you clarify the permeable pavers part?
On the mute and unmute on my screen are the exact opposite of what you would expect, which is, so can you hear me at the moment?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Excellent. Okay. The recommendation with respect to permeable pavers is that the pedestrian walkway in the front yard be constructed with permeable pavers.
Where's the walkway?
I don't have a copy of the site plan in front of me. This was based on what Robert had suggested, is that he didn't particularly want to make the driveway permeable pavers, although I'm willing to accept that. But he did say that the walkway would be constructed of permeable pavers. And perhaps
Colin, can you please clarify?
we need Robert to show where that is. Yes.
Through the chair, if Katrine could put up the site plan, display the site plan. No, okay, but the site plan that's in the submission. Yeah, thank you. That one right there. Yep.
Can you zoom in a bit? Where's the marquee?
So through the chair, the proposed, I'm assuming it's the proposed walkway, the as shown in the front as shown in the front yard there. And if for further clarity, if the committee wishes, they could reference the plan, the specific plan, if they wish, for further clarity.
This to me looks more like a stepped entrance or something. Okay, so Member Macaulay, is this what we're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Please, when you do, you should specify which part and perhaps indicate the drawing number as well, so that it's clear. It's drawing A100, and you must refer to the walkway or the pedestrian path in the front yard. Member Macaulay, we cannot hear you.
Thank you. In looking at drawing A100, the maximum width of the driveway, I believe, has not changed, and that maximum width is 6 meters. So that the lands that are exceeding 6 meters are either in soft landscaping, which would be on the north side, or would be on permeable pavers. So the driveway of the curb is shown as 3164. That curb would lead to the garage, and the remainder of that land would be impermeable pavers.
Just bear with me.
I'd really like to say the whole thing is impermeable pavers to make it very easy. But I'm going to say that the driveway component could be asphalt.
Okay, no, so this is not helping.
Through the chair, can I clarify that really all it is, and Katrine, if you could just show, really all it is that it's that walkway on the bottom there that Katrine is showing. I'm assuming that's the walkway there. If that's the area you want as permeable pavers, we can specify that in the decision. It would just be the the walkway as shown in drawing A100.
Okay, I think that's helpful. Member Macaulay, I suggest that we leave it to the walkway because the way you were trying to explain that may not be easy to implement or understand. So my recommendation is that you leave it at that pedestrian walkway connection leading to the front of the building.
Thank you.
Okay, so you were in the middle of a motion. Can you please reiterate your motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm showing as you can hear me.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Okay. I recommend approval of this application as amended by the deletion of the platform in the rear yard and subject to the walkway in the front yard being constructed of permeable pavers and subject to the conditions of urban forestry.
And just to state that the application was modified to remove variance number 5. Okay, all right.
That's correct.
All right, so I'm not going to repeat all that. I think it was pretty clear now. May I have a seconder to this motion? Member Taylor.
Madam Chair, I'll second the motion with a friendly amendment with regard to the walkway to reference the fact that it is as shown on Plan A100.
Okay, thank you. That's a fair comment. Member Macaulay, are you good with it?
Thank you.
All right, okay. All right, all in favor of this motion? The motion is carried. I know, but let me finish this item first. So I can confirm that the application is approved subject to the conditions as indicated, and the application as modified. Thank you. Item 7 has been completed. Okay, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mohammed, can we have you back, please? With your video. Thank you. All right. The next item that was held was item number 10. Item number 10 is 24 North Drive. And we have the applicant with us, Ali Shakiri. Ali, you're with us? Ali, can you hear us? Ali, if you hear us, please say something. Yeah, I will. Sometimes people are watching YouTube, so there may be a delay, right? Okay. Ali, are you?
Yep.
Okay, turn
Do you
off.
hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I did. I had some problem with my other station, so I changed it. I apologize for that.
Okay, thank you, Ali. We also had Kimberly Fawcett-Smith. Ali, can you please check? Okay, so Kimberly has not logged in. We will move along with the application. Ali, do you have any comments or would you like him to make a presentation, or would you like the committee to go right into the questions?
I have no comment. If there is any question, I'd be more than glad to answer.
Okay, thank you. Members of the committee, we have Ali with us, the applicant. And if there are any questions for Ali, please let me know. Any questions or comment on this application for Ali? Okay, this is oh, we do. Member Taylor.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Ali, I'm just looking at my notes and I just wanted to clarify something. Was there an earlier committee of adjustment granted, hearing granted that allowed allowed maximum floor area to 0.62?
Yes, that's correct, sir. There was an approval for 0.62 floor area. However, that approval also had an increased coverage of 43% and an additional approval for more than 20 meter length of the building. It wasn't intention of my client. Basically, the new owner has purchased this from the previous one, and they wanted to make modifications to improve the design for themselves. And also, this is going to be majorly shorter than the previous house, because that house had a variance of more than 20, actually to be exact, 20.37 meters length of the building was approved for that house. Now the length of this one is only 15.70, as you can see on my site plan. So it's like some 5 meters shorter. And also the coverage, we are not asking for additional coverage here. So all in all, we try to improve that, but we do need a little bit of more floor area that we've asked for.
Okay, thank you. Ali, Member Gary, does that address your question? You're on mute, Gary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, that does answer my question from Ali. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Member Taylor, you had a question? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ali, are you aware of urban forestry condition number 3, which is a requirement to pay cash in lieu of trees?
Yes, sir, I am aware there is no existing trees. We have to always pay that fee, and I'm well aware of that. And by all means, we accept that condition.
Okay, so you understand their requirement is for you to pay cash in lieu of trees?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Member Taylor. Any more questions? Okay, I see none. Ali, thank you for your time. I will now take the matter into committee. Committee members, if there are no further questions for Ali, may I please have a motion on the application? Member Taylor, thank you for identifying the conditions of urban forestry. So please bear in mind whoever's putting forward the motion. All right, who's going to put forward the motion? Member Saeed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The variances before the committee, I see all the variances 1 to 4. They are minor. They meet the 4 test. There is only one condition with the urban forestry. With that condition, I will move the motion for approval of this application.
Right. May I have a seconder? Member Taylor?
I'll second the motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried and the application has been approved subject to condition of urban forestry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, we now move to item number 11. Item number 11 is for 1373 Birchmount Road. The application is a minor variance application and we have 6 variances before us. With us, we have the agent, Patrick McCullough. Patrick, you're with us?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, Patrick.
I'm here. Okay.
Yeah, just bear with us for a moment. And we also had a neighbor who registered to speak, Yelda Namek and Lina Shahan.
Yes, we are here.
Perfect. Thank you, Yelda and Lina. Just stay with us for a moment. I will come to you in a bit. So Patrick, we have your application. We have reviewed it. We have also, just for on records, would like to state that we have a letter of opposition. Well, I guess those 2 members are here to speak as well, from Yelda and Lina. So do you want to make a presentation or do you have any comments at this time on your application?
The only comment I have is regarding the transportation letter. We have no intention of touching anything at the front of the house. Okay. The transportation is asking about the 3.5 meter wide driveway. It is actually that way right now. It's not like it's shown on the plan. So their issue is already existing. The driveway, that's 6.07 meters wide. That's what it is right now. We have no intention of changing any of that.
Oh, so it's an existing situation.
Yes.
Staff, can you please clarify?
Through the chair, my understanding is that Transportation Services is recommending that the condition be, the driveway be reduced. I don't think, I think they do know, I think that the issue is that the width should be the same, the driveway width should be the same as the, and also as the garage as well. It should be the same width as the garage, leading to the garage.
Okay, so the way the memo
on that?
The memo reads that the applicant is required to project both sides of new garage perpendicularly to provide a maximum driveway width of 3.5. So basically, they want the driveway opening to be the same as the width of the driveway. That's what they're asking. But what Patrick has just advised us, that it's an existing situation. He's not removing or making any changes in the front yard as it pertains to that existing driveway. Because if you look at it, the application is only to construct a new 2-story south side addition and a 2nd-story addition over the existing dwelling. So the existing situation remains. Colin, please.
Through the chair, I do note in the transportation services comments, under the first line, it indicates, we note that the proposed 6.07 wide driveway is too excessive. So there may be an error on their behalf that this is, as the applicant indicated, that it's an existing condition, it's not proposed.
Okay, all right. So what I understand is that there could have been a misunderstanding that some sort of a driveway was being proposed as opposed to the fact that it's an existing driveway situation. Can we just leave it at that then? Okay, all right. Thank you, Colin. In any other situation like this, we would deem it as an existing situation if it's not being renovated or changed, right, or modified.
It's really up to the committee's discretion on this.
All right, okay. Thank you very much on that, Colin. Patrick, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Actually, the driveway from the sidewalk to the street is exactly as transportation has requested. And that's what they're saying. They're saying that they're okay with the driveway from the sidewalk to the house, but it's from the sidewalk to the street that they want to be 3.5 meters. And in reality, that's the way it is.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that clarification, Patrick. I would like to now move to, is there anything else before I move to the neighbor, Patrick?
No, it's just all the regular stuff there.
Okay, thank you. So we now move to, before I do, committee members, any questions for Patrick? Okay, I see none. Yelda, Namek, and Lena, are you with us?
Yes, my husband Yalda is at work. I am here, Lena.
Okay, thank you, Lena. So Lena, just so you know, we did receive your written submission. So we have that on file. Is there anything else that you would like to add today?
Yeah, yes, I was just want to say that we have very good relationship with our neighbor and wish them the best. But we have a few comments that the project is built in 2nd floor, not just above the current building, but to extend over the garage next to my house. And the distance between this garage and the fence between us is only 36 centimeters, which means 1 foot, meaning that the distance is very close to side of my house. And that means the wall that will be constructed will block the light from the house, kitchen, my kitchen window, the only window I have in this kitchen, and block sunlight and sky from it. And the second comment, the building balcony on the second floor, as I see in the on the paper here, the building on the second the building on balcony on the second floor in the back, looking out to my back garden, to on my house, which is affect my privacy in my garden, and this will affect to my value, to my house value in the future. So that's the two concern for me, especially for the wall which close the window light into my kitchen.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lena, for your time. I will now request Patrick. Patrick, you heard the concerns from Lena. Could you please respond to the concerns?
Yeah, the addition is no closer to their house than the existing garage is right now. Now, the addition does take the garage all the way to the back of the house, but the further extension is only one floor. There is a second floor over the front part of the garage, but it's not going to be any closer to the property line than what it is right now. There's an old wood frame garage there right now that's exactly in the same location.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Members of the committee, any questions for Lena or for Patrick? Member Saeed?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For sake of further clarity on variance number 6, what I heard from Mr. Patrick is that this is an existing situation and the width is the same as before. So in that case, my first question is, Mr. Patrick, how many garages are there? Is there is one garage or two garage? And if there is another garage or some modification in the garage is there, that's why the variance number 6 is talking about the proposed driveway, which should be 6.0, proposed driveway, which is 6.07. It's not the existing one. It shows that something is being asked. If it is not there, then we have to totally change the variance number 6. Patrick?
Yeah, no, that's a mistake by whoever typed this up, because that driveway, we are not touching anything out the front.
Okay, Colin, can you please, you have some comment here?
Through the chair, we just wanted to share our screen showing the existing driveway so the committee it appears to be an existing condition. So here's 1373 right up there. So you could see the driveway right there. It's like a double driveway. Can you do a measurement there, Katrina? I know it's a very maybe zoom in a little bit, and this is just a really quick. It's not accurate. It's a very It's showing it's 6 meters right now, approximately. Again, this is a very quick measurement. It's not accurate. It's not a survey.
Okay.
And as the applicant has advised that they're not impacting the existing driveway.
Yeah, there's no change to the existing driveway. Okay. All right. Member Said, are you satisfied?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks.
Okay. All right. If there are no further questions, I would like to take the matter into committee. Before I do that, Patrick, anything else before we go into committee?
No, there isn't.
Okay, thank you. Members of the committee, there are no questions or comments from you. May I please have a motion? Member Taylor.
Yes, Madam Chair, I find that the requested variances meet the four tests under the Planning Act, and as such, I would move for approval, subject to urban forestry conditions 1 and 2.
Thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Seconder on this motion. Member McKay.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair, I'll second the approval subject to the urban forestry conditions as Member Taylor advises.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of this motion? All opposed? Oh. Okay, no. It seems like there's a delay. I'm going to ask, all in favor of this motion?
My hand is up, Madam Chair.
All opposed? All right. Member Said opposes the motion, but the motion is carried and the application has been approved subject to conditions of urban forestry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Through the chair, our YouTube stream. Actually, we have one more item. Okay, so let's go to the next item.
Okay. So it's item 13 now, 67 Bexhill Avenue, and we have the minor variance application with 8 variances requested. Nosheen Muzaffari is the agent. Are you with us, Nosheen?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Hi, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Just bear with us for a moment. Kimberly, just checking again, is she with us? All right, perfect. So Kimberly is not with us. Kimberly has not been able to log in on this application. So Nosheen, do you have any comments, or would you like to make a presentation, or do you want to field any questions from the committee members?
I don't need to do any presentation. I think the application is very straightforward. I just want to mention that variance number 5 for the balcony is removed. We have reduced the accessible area of the second floor balcony to 4 square meters. So this variance is removed. The rest is the same as shown on the public notice, and I would be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Nosheen. So just confirming that variance number 5, which pertains to the platform size, has been withdrawn. Okay, so committee members, yes. Thank you, Nosheen. So committee members, you heard Nosheen. Any questions for Nosheen at this time? And while we are doing that, I'm just checking if there are any comments. So Nosheen, are you aware of the conditions of urban forestry?
And we are okay with that.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions? Member Said, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nosheen, could you further clarify, you have withdrawn the variance number 5. So what's going to be the exact measurement of that? I understand it's going to be less than 5 meters, but are you bringing it down to 4?
Yes, we are bringing down the accessible area of the balcony down to 4 square meters, which is allowed and as of right. So the variance is removed.
Thank you very much.
That's it? Okay, all right. If there are no further questions, Nosheen, I would like to take the matter into committee, but if you have anything before I take the matter into committee, please let me know.
No, nothing at the moment.
Okay, thank you. All right, committee members, we now take the matter into committee. Any comment? I see none. All right. May I have a motion, please? Member Saeed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the motion for approval of item number 13 as amended for variance number 5 has been removed. and subject to condition of urban forestry, condition number 2 and condition number 3.
Okay, thank you. May I have a seconder, please? Member Taylor, please go ahead.
Second that motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion? The motion is carried. The application for 67 BEXHILL Avenue as modified has been approved subject to conditions of urban forestry. Thank you very much, Nausheen, for your time. And this brings us to the end of our agenda.
Through the chair, we do, just as an information piece, since the last hearing, we did receive a Toronto local appeal body appeal on 14 Pannier Street, just for your information, for the committee's information. And our next hearing is on March the 11th.
Okay, thank you, Colin. So committee members, you heard the update from Colin about the TLAB appeal and the date of the next meeting. Any other business? I see none. All right, need a motion to adjourn the meeting. All right, Member Taylor moves it to adjourn the meeting. Seconder? Member McCauley.
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
Okay, Member McKay seconds the motion. The motion's carried. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you. See you next month.
Thanks, everyone. It wasn't easy, but we're through.
Good job, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks for into your family again.
Oh, what? What happened? That's okay.